Hi there. It's been a little while. Downstairs by the fire again. Nice fake fire. It's always nice. Anyway, wanted to give a little update as to what's been going on and then get into a video. On Sunday, I believe it was. Yeah, because today's Friday. Not a great day. Had some mild food poisoning, I would say. Then on Tuesday, went to a funeral up in Maryland. Then on Wednesday, I tried to upload just a discussion on UVA basketball, but for whatever reason, YouTube didn't want to add it or upload it, so that didn't happen. So I'm getting on now. I'm gonna try to upload something, since the few people who may watch this may want to see something. Want to discuss, this will be part one, I think, just the general discussion of the Toronto Blue Jays and what's currently going on and what I think should happen versus what will happen, or it'll probably be somewhere in between the two extremes. Check out the glasses I got. So I went to get my glasses adjusted, and the lady, so the screw on this side of the other pair was loose, and she went to adjust it, and it broke. So that whole piece broke off. So I got a new frame. Anyway, getting sidetracked. The reason I care about Toronto is I've been up there twice. Once in 2016, once in 2019. I don't know what it's like now. I've heard things, but hey, getting news up there that from Heyman that Trevino, I think for the Yankees that is, was traded to the Reds. Anyway, whatever. So the first time, it was at the end of that, they were called the Indians at the time, but they had that long win streak, and I think I was up there the day after that streak was snapped. I want to say that was the Encarnacion, Bautista, Donaldson, etc. group of guys. I think like Cookie Carrasco, Kluber, etc. were on the Indians at the time. Obviously, they're not called the Indians, they're called the Guardians because of things. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. So that was the first time I went up there. I think it was like a Sunday. Maybe it was Canada Day of 2016. Again, I'm American, so I don't really follow stuff. It's kind of a memory at this point. That was 8 years ago, plus a few months. But anyway, cool experience. They won. They scored a bunch of runs that day. I forget the score. Doesn't really matter. But I went to a game on Sunday. I believe I went to a game on like Wednesday or Thursday of the same week. And that was a family trip. It was a fun time. Saw 2 games. They were good at the time, so it was cool. The next time, 2019, they weren't good. That was a different trip. It was like a kind of business trip with my mom, and got to see a weekday game against the Rangers. Because I remember Joey Gallo hit a home run. Because it was like him and Nomar Mazara. I don't know why I remember that, but hey. And the Rangers were not great at the time. That was like, what, 3 years, 4 years? Because that was 2019, right? And they won in 2023? Yeah, so anyway, they had won. That was between eras for them. So they were not great at the time. The Blue Jays were terrible at the time. That was around the time, I think, Vlad and Bo were just coming up type of thing, and they were bad. But they won and scored a bunch of runs. I remember we left early. We were staying at a hotel. I don't know, just kind of explaining the connection to the city. That trip was kind of marred at the end by, this was human error, but basically, like I said, we were staying in a hotel. Instead of getting an Uber, because we'd been Ubering the whole trip, we took a taxi and the dude just couldn't drive. We were late to the airport and ended up missing the flight. Had to stay in the airport for like 8 hours until the next flight. It was terrible. So that memory was not the best, but hey, it happens. Anyway, getting into this video. Now, like I said, the team I watch the most these days is the Orioles. So they're in the division of the Blue Jays, and I've seen the Blue Jays. I've seen Ryan Mountcastle hit home run after home run against them. And yeah, they finished 5th in a division that had an Orioles team that had regressed a little bit, a Rays team that had like half their pitching staff injured and their best player in jail, and the Red Sox with the John Henry experience not spending any money, and a lot of their best players either probably in AAA or injured or not performing. So safe to say that the Blue Jays are not in the best position, and 2 of their best players are coming up on free agency after 2025. So they are in a pickle. What will probably happen, and I don't think this is the right move, but I think this is what's going to happen. They've traded for Andres Gimenez, traded Spencer Horwitz in that deal, picked up a lot of money for no real reason, I don't think. I mean, Gimenez is good, but he's been regressing, specifically offensively. That's not ideal. Horwitz probably would have replaced Vlad Jr. if he were to leave after 2025 or prior. I guess Will Wagner can do that, or someone else could, but I don't really get that deal. It came out today that they're probably, the Blue Jays that is, are not gonna look to spend, not look to spend too much, as in I expect Teoscar to go either back to LA or to New York, or good Lord, what am I talking about? Boston. Stay in LA or go to Boston. I would expect Santander. I don't know where he's going to go. I think his market's a little jacked up. Who else is there? Bregman, Burns. I don't see any of them necessarily going to Toronto unless they just want to go for the money, which that's their choice. It's not for the winning project, so to speak. So it's unclear as to what they would do. And it's just a bad situation. Like I said, the problem there, I'm going to compare this to the Astros for a second. The Astros finished 1st in that division, the AL West, which is relatively weak. The Mariners don't spend money. The Rangers won the World Series and kind of regressed. Oakland and, well, the A's now, because they're not in Oakland anymore, but them and the Angels are a mess. And Houston does not have a good farm system, nor does Toronto, but obviously Houston was winning that division. And even now, with Christian Walker and Isaac Paredes, however you say it, may well win that division again because other teams are not good. That's not the case in the AL East, though. You have the Yankees, which, with or without Soto, would have been better than the Blue Jays. The Orioles, despite my disapproval of not spending money or wanting to invest in long-term deals, whether that's extensions or just regular contracts or even trading prospects, they're still better. The Red Sox are probably better. The Rays are probably better. So that's 4 teams that you're probably not going to pass. Maybe you pass one. Maybe you pass the Rays because they don't even have a stadium. But realistically, you're not passing the Red Sox because they have better prospects and they have a better team. Maybe your pitching staff is better, but overall, you're not better. And you have Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett, Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr., all of whom could be traded, and yet they're probably going to go all in, which makes no sense because even if you do pass 2 of those teams, you still have the other 2. You still have the Tigers, you still have the Royals, you still have the Guardians, you still have the Twins if they care to compete this year. You still have the Mariners if they care to spend any money. You have the Rangers if they decide to have an adequate pitching staff and offense. And then you still have Astros. So that's a lot of teams to compete with. That's just to make a playoff spot. Much less win a game or a series or beat the Yankees or whoever. It's more than likely not happening. I mean, pretty much we'd need, I'll get to what they would need in the next video, but it's really unlikely, and I don't know what they're doing. I think the front office is, as people in the media would say, desperate, clueless, no idea what to do. What needs to be done is obvious. They need to trade their guys and rebuild, because why not? The Yankees have a window. The Orioles have a window with Gunnar Henderson. The Red Sox, no one knows if they'll actually spend any money, like talking about. I mean, I assume Crochet would stick around, because what's the point of trading two of your main guys prospect-wise and then having him leave after 2 years? That doesn't make sense. But even with him, he's been a starter for like a season. So even with the Red Sox, they haven't done anything truthfully to prove them as long-term competition. But the Rays are still there. The Red Sox have revenue. They're a proud franchise. Orioles, Yankees still have a window. So to me, the obvious decision is to rebuild if you're Toronto. Even the guys you have in the farm system, in some ways, you can't trust because they're prospects, and some of them have injury problems. So, like I said, I don't think they'll do that, but that's the right decision. And the next video, I will talk about some of the trades they could try to execute, potential returns, prospects, destinations for Vlad, Bo, probably Gossman, and Bassett, because 3 of those guys outside of Gossman have only 1 year left. So what's the point of keeping them around if you're not going to compete? So that'll be the next video. And what do you guys think? Do you think the Blue Jays will make the smart decision, or will they bang their head against the door and fail, as they tend to do? So anyway, thanks for watching.